Okay, and here we are back again. Last couple of days I've been working on learning the Zibo 73800. Now, there's a lot of things, especially as someone who doesn't really know planes that well. It can be quite complex, and there are things you can miss and screw up, and things don't work. So I thought today I would quickly go through kind of an idiot's check of things that you may miss and things that you can look at to get things happening quickly and get yourself in the air and get yourself landed. So hopefully I do it correct and we can do this properly and help people out for when they first get in here. Now we're doing this in VR. Let me see. Yes, we're definitely in VR. That's awesome. Looking great. So basically the first thing that I like to do is when loading the aircraft is just have it started, have it ready to go. So just have the usual start on, load up, so you can actually start to enjoy the aircraft. If you go from the start and work out all the startup sequence and stuff like that, it takes you quite some time to get in the aircraft and start flying. So this way you can get in there, have a fly and enjoy it. Especially in VR, this absolutely looks incredible. You have no idea. You feel like you're actually definitely inside a 737. I've never been in the cockpit of a 737, but nonetheless. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into this. The first thing you want to do is you want to go and check your IRS. Everything else is looking pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the IRSs here, straight back to off, and then we're going to put them onto nav. And then you get up the top here in this outer ring, you grab that and you rip it all the way to the right, which is to the heading STS mode. And basically that means we have to wait 1 minute for the IRS is ready. We'll just move back here again. Also, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get into the advanced settings and go to others and make sure that your alignment time for the IRS is on short. Basically you do this by hitting the buttons on the side here. And then you can get back out. Go into the FMC, and if you look up the top here, you'll see that our alignment buttons are flashing. That means that we can actually go in the FMC, put in the IRS, and we have nothing at the top end here anymore, whereas we did have a 1. So if we get back down to our IRS, go into our init, and we go over to the second page and we grab our, just make sure that we have that, and then we go back to our previous page and we add that in. And as you can see, we get our information up, so it basically knows where we are now. We're going to put in our reference airport, which is YSS. Go into our route. While we do that, we might do a couple of things, just a couple of things that you do need for here. Now basically you have to decide what your flight level is. We won't do that yet. So you go over to the altitude here, take that up to whatever altitude that you're going to fly at, so you don't black out. So I'm going to put it at 15.5. We're basically at 50 feet here, so that's ready to go. That's on auto. Another thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to put on your anti-icing, because at some stage of the flight, actually sorry, not your anti-icing, your window heat, because these windows will heat up and you won't be able to see out them, which will be very good. So we're just going to add in all this heat stuff here. Anti-icing, we may as well do that. Make sure that our isolation valve down, I think that's where that needs to be. Trim air is on, basically all that is looking pretty good. Anything else here at the moment we need to put on? Well, you can do the total procedure and you can go through the checklist, and there's obviously lights and everything like that that you can put on. Like you can put on your no smoking, or you can put out fasten seatbelts, auto, all that type of stuff can be done, but this will get you into the air. So now we're going to come back down to the FMC and we're going to put in our desk. Y, see that, so we can see what we're doing. Y, S, C, B. So we're going to put out this, yeah. Going to the next menu here. Okay, so basically what we want to do, you can look in the fuel page of Xplane, and it will tell you how much fuel you have. I'm pretty sure I have enough fuel in here. 119 definitely is going to be okay. If you don't, you can go in there and add some more and you should be good. If you don't have anything in the center tanks, you'll find you'll have low pressure, but I'm not going to go in there right now because we can get away with it doing it like this. Reserves, well, I'm just going to put in 4, and then cost index, well that changes depending on your airline apparently, but I'm just going to put in 50. And for our altitude, it says 15.3, so I think that's pretty good too. 15.300, and we just put that in there. As for wind, what you do is you check on your flight plan to see what your wind is. At the moment, I'm just going to say it's, I'm going to add that in there too. 2, 4, 5, 0, 7. That might be not correct, but it will get away with it. And everything else on there is good. N1. Now this is the one that'll get you, and this was the one that'll throw off your VNAV, I think it is. And I did have some trouble, and I could not get this VNAV on to go on green. It's due to this select OAT at the top. So basically you look here, it's 15 degrees TAT. You grab that number and you do /1 5. You put that in there and things will start to happen. Anything here we do not need to worry about. Derated climbs, I think that has to do with noise levels of the surrounding area or something like that. Basically takeoff flaps is usually 5. That in there, and we click the CG, and the gravity is 24.1, and we're going to get the trim of 4.36. So we come down here and we trims are way out here. What's the story? May do this. Yeah, let's get it up to where it needs to be. Bit slow on the old touch controller, so bring it back here. So about there. Now we look at our speeds, reference speeds. What you can do, you can come up to here, speed references here, and you can add them in. Basically what you do, you go here, click at 1, and you can look down here on the V1, and our V1 speed is going to be 122. So grab here and you go 120. It's really hard with 22. So basically you do that. You can click the next outer ring, come down, do the V2 speed, but you don't need to do that. You can get away with it. So basically our speeds are in here. Into here, really hard to get in here. Is closer. I'm going to put in our speeds, 136. Okay, so that's good. Basically this is where we can put in our speed. So this is going to be our N1 speed if I'm correct. One is 136. So that's good. So now we're going to go into our departures. Go in here. I do know that the Cliff 4 SID is the one I want, and obviously 16 right is where we're at. So we're going to hit that and activate, and we have to hit the execute button. Also, we're going to go into our departures, and our arrival airport is Canberra, which is YSCB. We're going to go in there, and we're going to look for five ILS. Now, pick this one. And I can't recall what our use that transition there, and we'll execute that. So that is good. Back to route. Flight number. You could put your flight number in. I use QAN 738. Your route, if you have a route that you've done on SimBrief in your FMS folder there in the output area folder for SMS flights, you would type it in there and click the co-route button there. So this should be all correct. Now what we do need to do is go into legs and see if we've got any discontinuities, which is there. So basically, if you see one, click the one you want to move up, click it, and then paste it over the one that you want to fix. So I'm hoping everything works correctly. So what we can do now is we can go into our plan mode there, and we can click through here and make sure everything's okay. So step, proper descent, step. It looks pretty good. Looks like we're good. So that's great. I don't think I've missed anything else in here. What we will need to do is also check out our index here. We're going to go to approach. I am going to use 30 flaps with 135. So that's in there now. You just click it like that. So basically we can just go to our legs here, and we're going to go back to where we are, and we're looking good. So we can bring this back to map. Now, other thing you probably need to do is, if you go on your map of Flight Sim Xplane 11, you can pull up the airport, zoom into the airport, click on the details in the information on the airport, and you can put in the correct barometer reading. 92.92. It may vary a little bit, but that'll just change your altitudes a bit. I probably should do that. Let's have a look. So we'll have a quick look here. You can't see this, but I'm going to just do it anyway. I will be pulling up Sydney, going to the airport, pull up the details, go down the bottom. Altimeter is 2. Exactly what it says there. So that's awesome. Absolutely awesome. So what we're going to do now is make sure our autopilot is right. So we're going to turn on our... There we go. I think I might just reposition myself. That. And we're going to move over with the camera because I'm actually at the desk. So field directors are on. Auto throttles armed. VNAV, LNAV ready to go. Our altitude is going to be, what do we say, 15.3. 1, 2, 3. So that's ready to go. When we do get to that altitude, we're going to totally reduce that to 0, so we don't have any problem with the VNAV. This all looks good. Heading is not quite right. So we're going to bring that to our current course. I don't know why that's all the way over there as well. We really need a quicker turn on this. So 1, 5, 6 looks pretty good. Everything else looks pretty good. I usually put this on to 20 nautical miles. That looks good. We're going to need to put our flaps to 5 because that's what we chose. Auto spoilers are okay. We need to change our auto brakes to RTO, and that looks pretty good. I think we've pretty much covered everything. I think we're looking pretty good here. We should be right for takeoff. We do have the brakes still on. Our trims are right. One thing we didn't do is our Canberra, our ILS numbers. So what I'm going to quickly do here, bear with me. YSCB ILS 35. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm just finding out what the ILS for the runway that we're landing on. So we're looking at runways, navigation, ILS 109.5. Okay, so sorry about that. We'll just put that back down on there. Where's our little controller? There it is. 109.5. So down here to our nav. Happens to be right here. Oh, we are already on 109.5, and we're making sure that both the 109.5. That's fantastic. Gee, I just wasted a bit of time there. Awesome. Okay, we're going to try to get ourselves a bit of a position here. Everything looks pretty good. I don't think we have any issues. I'm just going to recenter myself again. Gotta love the VR. Okay, we're looking good. Everything's up and running. Everything's armed. We're just going to do some last checks here and there. Looks like we're okay. Looks like we're going to get off the ground like this. So basically what we need to do, take off our brake, grab onto our everything, spool up our engines, make sure that our feet are on the rudders. We're going to go full throttle. That was our V1. We didn't get our call though. Interesting. Up we go. Thank you. Gear up. We're going to go over here. We're over 400. I can't actually 1,000. Put on our autopilot. We should be good. Going to proceed to take up some more flaps. And we should be good. Just remember, don't fly with your flaps out. It really slows you down. So, if we can pull up. So everything is looking good. We've got our VNAV going, our LNAV, everything is happy. It looks to me like we are doing okay. We're looking at cliff. We were doing 272 at flight level. Very interesting. So as you can look on the screen here, you can see our top of climb is just past cliff. The only thing we really need to worry about here is making sure that our speeds are correct with what the FMC says. It does actually say requires drag. I could not tell you exactly which screen in the FMC that actually says it in, but it definitely does. So. But you can look at your speeds and wherever the speed bug is, you can put out your spoilers. So basically spoilers are here and you just bring these back like that. You get one notch and then totally fully out. Now right now, I'm going to see if we can grab our... It's really hard to use it like this. So what I'm going to do is bring ourselves down with the camera and then zoom ourselves in just so we can grab this little thing. Right now, auto brake is off. Just going to recenter our position. We are headed through 11,000 and we are looking good. Let's go have a look outside. Let's just make sure, bear with me here, that we can see what we're doing. Here we go. Now, I've only done this a couple of times. This may go completely wrong, and if it does, I will let you know what exactly is the problem, because that's what it's all about, letting people know the little things that you do wrong to screw up your flight. Looking pretty good. And there we have Sydney way back there, looking to the west. Well, looks like we're doing a lovely turn. Let's get back inside, because you never know what's going on. Okay. So, we're on our way. We'll put this at... Okay. Leveling out. Pulling back our throttles. And we're looking at 305 knots. Now, what we can do is we can also go in here and look at our progress. Now, at the moment, we're heading towards... At 216 will be at Cliff. We were at Cliff, okay. And the next one is 231 at DO 49N. Without the airline designations. I'm not great at those. So it will take a bit of time. Actually, it also says up on the screen here just how far. 87 nautical miles. So things should be pretty fun. I like to hit this. Of course you can. Yes, go for it. So I actually don't know what we're looking at down there. That's some lake. Is it Lake Conjola or something like that? I don't know. So headed out of Sydney, headed for Canberra. Yes, we're in Australia, we're in a Qantas, so it's all looking great. By rights, our LNAV and VNAV should be able to get us all the way to the runway. Should not be a problem. If you think that you're going too fast, you can hit the speed button and reduce the speed as well, but also good to use your spoilers. Definitely slow you down, and as you get closer to the airport you can use your good old flaps. So if we look at our progress bar, it looks like we will be there at 22:44. We've already set our approach, which will be one. We better have a look at that. Approach speed will be 134 again. Okay, it's very popular at the moment, 134. So we'll head back to our legs here. Now there's not many waypoints on this run, obviously calculated with with the approach, all the extra little ones. So it makes it quite simple. We actually are going south and we're going to swing around and come north hitting 3.5. So we've got 68 nautical miles to go, doing 303. We are cruising. Doesn't look like we're that high, but we actually are. See, we're not getting any steam in the windscreens because we have our good old heat happening there. Also, our altitude is pretty much correct here for the air pressure, so we're not blacking out. You will actually black out if you do not set that. I think it's over 12,000 or 12.5 thousand. You will start to get blackouts due to air pressure. We might put these onto continuous. Now that's just to start the engines off. If we have problems on our approach and stuff, we can do that now. Now all these little procedures obviously I'm not doing correct because I do not know them correctly myself, but I will learn them in time. I do want to learn them, so I will. And also the startup and all that type of jazz. There are checklists and you can get it all done, but it just takes time. Sometimes you just want to get in the air and start flying, and everything is looking pretty good. What's that ground call? Let's have a look. So you're just tinkering too, just not tinkering and touching the wrong things. Ground call doesn't seem to do anything. This does run pretty good in VR, to be honest. I don't think it's that taxing, which is awesome. Oh, as I say that, I get a hourglass pop-up in my headset. I do like to check everything out quite a bit just to make sure everything's running just fine and dandy. But we are looking good at the moment. Let's just zoom out a touch if we can. So that's what it looks like. Quite a ways off to top of descent. Now at this point in time I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do the approach. I may take it over 1,000 feet. Still getting used to the aircraft, so I may leave it on to a lot later. And we are using ortho today, and it does look pretty nice. Rather dull and Australian looking out there. Also, really getting used to this aircraft in VR does take a little bit too. Just positionally and stuff like that, and knowing just how you see the runway when you approach it at a close distance and stuff like that. We're looking good. Still have 42 nautical miles to go. We will be hitting our top of descent though, and we will start to decline. Decline. Yeah, right. I'm that good one. Can actually. Yeah. might just align this to my runway of 335. Landing this with the ILS approach is such. Okay, I'm glad that works. Yeah, landing this with the ILS approach is really satisfying. Learning how to use this whole thing slowly but surely is really cool. I'm really loving this Zibo aircraft, and I will donate because let's face it, it's a free mod, and a lot of everything in the aircraft works really well. You know, even down to the fogging up of the windows and like the altitude pressure, air pressure, all that type of jazz. Really cool, so cool. And there's also a mod you can grab that changes the textures up a bit, so I will look at that as well. Okay, so if we look down here, we're going to hit our next waypoint, and we're going to need to be doing 272, which we will make sure that we do. I find sometimes you do need to add in a little bit of spoilers, which remember, they're right there. It should take care of it itself, but you never know. Once again, I do want to say I'm not perfectly doing this, so we may stuff this up, and I will leave this in, and we will leave that in the video, and we can look at it and see where exactly I stuffed up. Because you need to know these things, you need to know where you make mistakes and try to correct them, and hopefully the video will show people that are having problems exactly what the problems are and how to fix them. So we're going to bring this back to 20 nautical miles. Now at some stage in the flight, the FMC is going to ask to change your altitude, which I should have already done. Let's remove that. I'm going to take it all the way off, just so it doesn't ever have any problem with the autopilot. I should have actually taken that off initially. There's Lake George over there. Actually, I don't think we have any weather on today. We're just having a nice clear day and no wind, so actually putting in the wind direction may affect us a little bit, but we'll take over the plane as soon as we get close to the ground, hopefully. Maybe it's a little premature, but I am going to, so I don't forget, put our brakes to 3. Oh, there we go. Starting to decelerate. And we're going to head down to 272 knots. Top of descent, just about to get there. Still a ways off to the next waypoint. And looks like we're hitting our descent speed. Okay, we will not obviously descend yet, but you want to bring back your speed before you make any moves, because as soon as you start getting that angle of attack, you know, that descent rate, it's going to be hard to pull off. Now we're already starting to speed up. I'm going to give us a little bit of spoilers just to bring us to the speed we're supposed to be. And if you look out, again, way back there, you can kind of see the spoilers. Not that you can usually look out the window. So, no, we are still speeding up. So we're going to keep our spoilers where they are, so we keep the right speed. Now, we're making our turn. If you look at this little glide slope indicator here, it's saying where we are compared to the flight path and the slope that we're supposed to be, but we look like we're doing okay. We are doing a turn, so we're going to kind of be descending a little bit faster than what we would be if we were going straight, but it's okay. Now if you watch your flight path, and if you find that you're off a little bit, don't worry, your FMC knows what it's doing apparently. I've had this and I'm like, oh, where are you going? It's a little odd, it does seem a little odd, but hopefully it will sort itself out. So we need to get down to, next one is 250 knots. See, we are actually leveling out and we're going to do a bit of a turn. Now I don't know if that's compensating for the wind that I say is actually here, because there isn't actually any wind, but I've actually inputted it in. And we're doing okay, I think. Wrong way. Yeah, we're coming back. It is quite a turn, you can see, to get onto final, so we're going to actually have to make sure that we look after that. Because this cabin is so big, I might find that I do sit a little bit further over to the center so I can reach everything okay. Yeah, we're doing good. Dropping to 240 knots, are we? Interesting. Okay, you're the boss, FMC. We are right on the line, as you can see with the little glide slope there. Yep, the little magenta dot is looking good. We're a little bit off on our center line, but we're doing okay. Now, after you do watch this video and you do have comments to throw down of how things should be done better, obviously there's procedures I'm not doing and that's obvious and I will work on them, but any little tips and stuff like that you want to throw on the comments, do so, because I love comments and tips. It's all constructive and it'll also help anybody else that is flying or learning to fly this Zibo 73800. Okay, so we are at 240 knots. We're looking pretty good. We are starting to flatten out a bit. I may be able to reduce my spoilers, perhaps? No, no, don't. You know what? Let's give ourselves some flaps. Okay, we'll just get over here a bit further. Actually, we are too fast for flaps, by the way. We're going to have to wait till we get down to a bit slower. Just for interest's sake, let's see what our flaps come down to. Yeah, and it's within means. We are doing okay. Everything looks fine. Yes, we're on 20 nautical miles. Maybe we'll bring this down to 10. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Everything is looking good. When we get on final, we will be hitting the approach button and everything should be fine because we have our ILS happening. Do have a slight bank just to come in at this this next waypoint. Looks like we're doing okay. We are doing okay. Okay, let's get rid of our spoilers. We're starting to straighten up, which is good. Now give ourselves some more flaps. Still looking at now the FMC does say 250 and stuff like that, but you can regulate it yourself as long as you don't do anything too drastic. 219. We're doing pretty good. As long as that glide slope is looking pretty good, then we shouldn't have a problem. Give ourselves 5 flaps. And we're starting to turn on to final, it looks like. Now we've put ourselves into our approach. Okay, now we've switched to our approach. We're looking like we're doing okay. Now we're going to put out, as soon as we line up, bring it back round. We're going to need some more flaps. And our speed, we're going to go down to 34. And we're going to put down our landing gear just because. Oh, that's not landing gear, that's landing gear. Oh, and there's our runway. We are high. This is not right. No, we're sorting it out a bit. And slow ourselves down a bit, we're going too fast. So this is where it starts to all happen. Not quite lined up the way we really want it to be, but we're getting there. Now if we look, I'm pretty sure that's correct. We're doing okay here, 134. Let's see if we can put our spoilers back. Yeah, we're doing okay. We're lining up okay. We're on our 30 flaps we need to be. We're doing 134. We're coming in okay. So we are still at are we high? We're doing pretty good. Glide slope looks pretty good. Our speed's pretty good. I'm going to put my actual throttle kind of where I think it needs to be. We're at 1000. We are looking good. Oh, just started to get brighter. As long as I can reach that and that. Oh, I can't really reach that from here. I can now. Okay. We're gonna disengage the autopilot, turn off the auto throttle, throw down the controller, grab the stick, and I have the plane. Get reverse thrusters and hit full power. There we have it. Turn off the reverse thrusters, brakes on, and there we've done it. It is very difficult to do. What we do need to do is stop that beeping noise, which is, I think, the autopilot gauge. There it is there. So we made it. We're on the ground. Now, you can head on in really close to the ground and leave the auto throttle on for pretty much the last second, and actually you don't even have to take control of the aircraft. It looks like it was going in just fantastically. Is that a word? And there you go. Just need to make sure, actually I'm not totally sure about that, but the FMC pretty much has all the information about the ILS, but apparently in real life it's good to have the nav down here at the correct thing as well, so when you hit your approach it works just fantastically. Once again, I need to look at all this stuff and work out and make sure that everything is correct, because there are procedures and things that obviously you need to do if you want to make this as realistic as possible. I obviously don't do them yet, so I'm happy. I've landed. Landing was pretty good, I assume. Was okay. Let's go back and have a look. Here we go. Now you can see that's probably where I disengaged the autopilot. Got a bit iffy. I had to throw down the touch controller. Now I could have come in at 40 flaps, but I think that might have been a bit slow. Getting a bit wonky left and right, but our angle of attack is okay, I think. We're a little bit off. Well, we might be a bit high. And we're obviously not flaring, but reduces power. There we go. Not even a bounce. And we're down. And there we have it. Wow, what a great little flight. Now, whoever thought that I would be able to fly this 737? So I thought I'd give it a go. I found out what I did wrong. I learnt from it. I looked at videos, I asked people, and then it all came together. And I wish I had a video like this, that I can troubleshoot all the things that can go wrong as you learn this type of thing, because it is quite frustrating. So hopefully this video is helpful to people who just start flying this aircraft. I will probably need to go back and reference myself. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like what you see here, throw us a YouTube, subscribe, and also head over to Twitch and do a search for Milo, MILOSANX over there, and throw us a follow. That'd be great. And hit us a like as well, because it really helps. So hopefully this will help everybody out, and we'll see you on the next video.